My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Curse the Dead Gods. I have the 10 crystal skulls it would cost in order to get Favor of Sashal here, which would fill out my blessing slots. However, I'm saving the crystal skulls to try and get other things that I think are more worth prioritizing. I don't really care about the 1,000 gold and 5 perception at the very start when I can start getting towards unlocking other things that I'm more likely to use further on in the late game. But for the moment, if we're looking for trying to get more crystal skulls, we should probably do one of these events down here at the bottom. Unfortunately, Annihilation, the Bow of Madness, is in the Eagle Temple, which is my least favorite temple, so I guess I'm just going to do the Old Nightmare here. We have permanent hallucinations, and all enemies will be infested. Also, we can't even see the map. This is a unique try event. I don't know if they're, like, daily refresh events or something like that. I don't know when they refresh, because it did say unique try event. So I really got to focus on getting this one down if it is unique and a one and done kind of situation. So permanent hallucinations, you can see here. My permanent hallucination is I have none of my stat screen up. Apparently being able to see any of the HUD is a hallucination. Also, as you can see here, my enemies all have the infestation effect. I've talked about this before as being one of my least favorite curses to have to deal with, just because it gives you more things on the field that you have to dodge, and if you have to roll out of the way to dodge from one of them, then suddenly you're depleting yourself of stamina that you may need to use for a different roll that would actually prevent you from taking damage. Okay, I should have picked that up, but I was trying to get out of the menu so that I could dodge that bat and kill it. So I just got no gold. Well, okay, I did get gold because... Ooh, -20 the blood offering cost. Or 1%. I'm going to take the perception now. Instead of picking up a relic that would have given me plus 15% on poison attacks, I just kept the... I think it was 4% max HP. Which immediately transmutes into gold because we have the overflow that does that. We have a blessing that turns excess healing into gold. So everything's going to be in this mode. I mean, this is quite cinematic. If there were more kind of like integrated ways of telling pieces of information that are still required... Let me just finish this room before I finish that diatribe. If there were more integrated screen ways of telling important information, such as the system we have for stamina, if I could see, like, greed kill counters and greed kill timer especially, plus 15% to lightning attacks? No, I'm going to transmute that. I'll take a fire attack bow, though. Sure. And then get this to fire at the wall to open it up for me. But yeah, if there were more kind of like diegetic ways to present that information, I would really dig a game that kind of looks like this, you know? Minimal HUD. Very appealing to me. A lot of the times when I play Bethesda games, or, you know, in the past when I played Bethesda games, or games especially on that engine or of that ilk, I often end up just adding as many HUD modifications as possible to make it minimal. It's just very immersive. It's much more immersive, right? Nice. Alright, we're doing pretty good here so far. No damage taken. Plus 45% to all fire attacks. I already have a fire weapon. In fact, I have 2 fire weapons. Yep. Gimme. I want it. I actually don't even have the ability to pull the map up, so I don't know if this is going to end after the first champion or the boss. Could be either or. Volatile remains. Enemies killed while burning explode after a short time. Oh, God. Yikes. I burn all of them. That's my thing. There we go. I guess it'll help cause chain reaction kills, I guess. That's gonna be good. I guess. Unfortunately, I lost my greed kill timer there. Again, I gotta remember, they are guaranteed to explode. Not they can explode, they are guaranteed to. It's not gonna open a door down there that didn't used to exist. Nope. So this is an extra room offshoot here that is going to have some loot for us, but also be a little bit dangerous. Hup. That one, and then Blood Priest. Yeah, the danger comes from all of those turrets up there at the very end. We got all of our gold, kill all the enemies. Nice. Again. Pretty flawless right there. I really wish I did know when this is going to actually end. Because when this challenge ends, determines how aggressively I can utilize resources like, you know, spending my corruption to buy things. Because if this isn't ending for a really long time... No, don't kill him! I need this one to come over here and block down the door for us. There we go. So I miss out on the greed kill there, but I do get to open this door, which is going to have more money than the greed kill would have been worth. I also could have done that with a Death Wife, but the Death Wives were easier to kill. After you parry, your main weapon deals critical damage for 2 seconds. Sure, it's just a slightly better version of the shield that I currently have. Or currently had. I'd like to find a higher quality incandescent claw. Just basically the weapons that I started this run with, I want those again, but just slightly more powerful. And we've done that so far, right? We started with a worn bow and a worn shield, and we got a upgraded bow and an upgraded shield. Now we just need to upgrade the claw. Because the claw we just started with was incandescent as a result of... Whoop. This is always a pretty interesting trap room. Thankfully, we got out of it fast enough before anything explodes in there. But we started with the incandescent claw as a result of the upgrade that we gave to our kind of like meta area at the end of the last episode. Okay, dang, we killed all the enemies here. All right, well, we're not going to be accessing all those little niche areas. It's fine. This is why I like having heavy weapons whenever available. Even perfect shots aren't going to do that. I knew that they wouldn't, but, you know, maybe something had changed since last time I played. Who knows? So that is the first, like... I'm not going to call it a big mistake, but that's the first, like, real mistake we've made. Because everything else, we've got maximum value so far, which I've been pretty pleased with. This should keep the greed kill counter. Beautiful. When I have a greed kill counter up, like a reasonably large... Well, I say reasonably large. Whoa! What? Hang on. We still have the greed kill counter up for that? Anyway, when I have the greed kill counter up and it's like, you know, decent. Projectile... Oh, we've seen this one before. I'm going to offer that for the corruption. I have 45% extra damage on fire weapons, so that wouldn't really make sense for me. Consumed to restore 50% of max health when taking a fatal blow. Plus 6% to your base damage per 1,000 gold carried up to 10 times. That's pretty good. We could take that and then just try and go exclusively gold and the weapons we pick up. The only problem is, I'm never going to know how much gold I have. Whoa. Can I even see it if I pull up this? No. Inventory? That's not going to show me gold. At least I can see my stats from here. We are now what I might call overly reliant on finding a fire main weapon. And specifically finding it from not an enemy. It's also worth noting that that modifier, the extra damage per 1,000 gold, is obviously going to be a lot. Honestly, this curse has actually been kind of good for us. Sorry, I keep interrupting my own train of thought there. The extra damage for the gold that you're holding is obviously going to be a lot better in a... almost. In a very long dungeon, because you have the ability and time to actually set up that much money. This is an upgrade. Plus 20% on critical damage for this. Only costs 800. Well, all of these cost 800. Yeah, upgrade the incandescent claws. Screw it. That's what we're doing. We're literally just keeping this weapon and we're going to go with it. It's fine. We're just going to keep upgrading it with the power of relics. Now, is this a build? Not really. Is it something I'm doing, though? You betcha. All Jaguar statues now fire fireballs. Cool. More things to dodge. Oh, it's the first boss time. Or final boss time. Who knows? It's either the first champion or the final boss. Ah! No! I forgot that there are Jaguar statues on the side of this fight. All I need to do is just get the Jaguar dead, and then I'm fine. You see why I like fast weapons? So many more available opportunities to attack. Keep them coming. There we go. Whoa. Accidentally brought up the menu there by putting down my controller. Jaguar statues firing fireballs. Definitely remove that one. Okay. Plus 20% base damage for bows as well as 2 decks. Sure. 6 constitution or 8 max health? 8 max health. That max health seems to have healed me as well, which means I wasn't too far from max. In fact, and it also means I am now back on max. Okay. I'm gonna get the bow out and try and take a pot shot from afar to open up this fight. Because I'm no longer in the realm of being able to kill individual chumps just with a single combo. Because some of those chumps are elites. And those elites got HP, y'all. Ah! How'd you hit me? Dang tracking. Good explosion there. Just lit that trap in the corner to try and burn both of these enemies, and then the enemy immediately swung wide and killed it. Just invalidating that clever play. Incandescent Claw upgrades again, literally just to increase its damage. Yep. What did I say? What did I tell you? We're just going with that weapon. No new friends. No new friends. Okay. Ooh, we haven't actually seen this room in this series yet. This is a time trial room. The faster I kill the enemies, the more gold will be left when we complete the room. There we go. That was a real quick kill. Pretty proud of that. That's going to increase our damage pretty significantly as well, because we're holding off on using gold at the moment. Explosive barrels have an increased explosive radius. Good lord. Too many of these are based around fire effects. Explosive barrels are lit by fire, so related to the fire effect in that fashion. Okay. Got rid of those two. And that'll settle the rest of the room. Get this chest. What do you got for me? Plus 6 dex. Yes, please. Plus 6 dex actually also says plus 12% base damage. Plus 20% base damage for heavy weapons, but also 3 dex. How many relic slots? We've got 1 relic slot floated. Sure, we'll take that. 8% max health there would have just been 80 gold, basically. Whoa. I was trying to roll past the enemy. I failed in rolling. Wait, hang on. I need you to attack here. I was trying to roll past the enemy there. I failed in rolling past them, but I was still in my iframes. So thankfully, they still didn't manage to hit me, but yikes. So that is the traditional exit to the room, but having had the enemy destroy this wall, I have the ability to come in here, which is just an extra room we get to do, but it has a guaranteed chest in it. Perfect. What do you got, bud? Plus 15% to poison attacks, as well as 3 dex. If I'm not changing any weapons, if I'm not making any new friends here, why would I need that? That one's the spin attack, so I need to get way out of dodge. I decided to just stay there and parry that one. Maybe it wasn't the best idea, but it did work out, so that makes it a good idea. Hindsight is 2020, and foresight is more sight. It's more sight than 3 sight. That's the saying that I've always heard. Don't act like you haven't heard it constantly as well. Ah, I was in invincibility frames there. I was definitely in invincibility. Blah. Rude of you to hit me. All right. Now, I know we're comparing apples to oranges because we're comparing the Jaguar Temple to the Eagle Temple, the temple with which I have the most experience and the temples with which I have the least experience. But I think there is a small comparison here to be made. Look at how much less likely I am to be hit and how much more aggressive I can be when I'm using a fast weapon. This is what I'm talking about when I keep talking and like endlessly belaboring that my playstyle is very attuned to using claws in particular. There was also a comment in the last episode that I thought was really, really astute. It was echoing something that I'd said in the episode as well, but from another perspective. So I guess I'm kind of complimenting myself using someone else as a bouncing board to do so. But in particular, it was see the stark difference between this episode and the past couple episodes. That is the difference of knowing the dungeon and not knowing the dungeon. Like Rhapsody's experience in Jaguar Temple and Serpent Temple kind of shines through. And not necessarily in Eagle Temple, right? Like, it will eventually. Just not yet. Just give me a moment. Not like anyone's not giving me a moment, by the way. I don't mean that to come across as though I'm chastising anyone. I'm more just appreciative of that comment in particular. That sucks. All of those with explosive radii increased. Just real annoying. Plus 30% damage against burning enemies. All right. We can only make no new friends in our main weapon slot. That's the new rule I'm setting for myself. Just to justify picking up this weapon. Hey, it helps my main weapon, right? This is more like a friend of a friend, right? Because it will help the other weapon be able to finish enemies off from afar. Ooh, 66 on healing effect. Yeah, I'll take that back. Drop the bonus. Well, that was bonus damage for bows as well as dex, actually. I just picked up a bow, didn't I? Maybe I'm going to have to go back and rectify that. Definitely take the stats here, and we'll also pay for them. We can't pay for everything with the blood. Unfortunately, did I... Yeah, I didn't take the relic early on that was like negative 20% to blood offering costs. That, in retrospect, would have been huge. Been absolutely magnificent for us. So we lose 1 dex in order to take this, but we get extra damage on bows, which is a weapon type we're actually using. Feels like all of this is happening a bit faster as well. Like my rolls especially feel quite quick. I'm gonna go up close and personal. I don't have to be involved in that at all. Thankfully, there weren't the traps over the left side of the room. That would have been worse. Stormlash, secondary weapon, whip. No, I want the buckler. I still want the buckler. Okay, so we healed for 193 off of that. And didn't get any gold, which tells me we are not on max HP. Which tells me we're missing out on gold value right now because we're not on max HP and not healing past that in order to get more gold. So let's focus on... in stark contrast to what we were doing previously, let's focus on taking no damage. Because previously, I was just inviting. So walking in a room like, stop trying to hit me and hit me! That kind of thing, you know? Couldn't roll out of the way at the second one there, unfortunately. Okay, no items dropped there. Beautiful. We gotta be... I was about to say, we gotta be getting close to our second boss. Here it is. This is where I really want the ability to parry more. Just gonna bully you around the map a little. As long as I perfect roll through those attacks, I don't have to really worry. Anything yet? Hop, roll out of that one. Get an attack in. Parry that. What? I parried the first attack. I thought that was the attack that if you parry, the enemy gets staggered there. There's one of those attacks that if you parry, the enemy gets staggered, but I guess there's some of them that if you parry, the enemy is just going to be like, okay, I'll just attack again then. So you got to parry a bunch in a row. There we go. Whew. So I hit 2 parries on that enemy. I'm not going to get that champion weapon then. Yeah, remove the Divine Pact. Just gives me another relic slot. And I get to keep the Divine Favor that I picked up. Extra damage from maces. 12% max HP. Okay. Passing through door inflicts. Ooh! 50% less corruption. Love that. Gives us a lot more leeway to spend that corruption on buying things, naturally. I also have a bunch of Divine Favors, so I should be pretty picky at upcoming stores. Like, basically, one of the only things I should really take from stores at this point is plus 45% to fire damage. Removes corruption per enemy killed. Oh, how about I remove 12 corruption by just not taking that weapon instead? This is also kind of awkward because I was really expecting this was going to finish after the first or the second champion, but it looks like it's going through to the final boss. So before I actually show you the final boss in a normal thing, I'm going to do the final boss in a challenge. Oops. My bad, might kind of slight me misprioritization there, I guess. How much money do I even have? Maybe I just keep the money? Because the damage that I'm getting from the money is huge. So where would I reroll? I'm not rerolling in weapon shops because I'm not buying a weapon, no new friends. I'm not rerolling in upgrades because I can't upgrade. I'm not rerolling, or rather because I can't reroll in upgrades. I can't reroll in stats because I can't reroll in stats. I guess I only reroll here, so let's see if there's something that really sweeps me off my feet. 8% max health when I pass a door. It's okay, but really, I should be okay without it. Plus 45% critical damage is pretty big. Plus it's 10 perception, which will give me the chance to get more golds before the end of the run. Okay. We'll do it. Plus 45% to crits is pretty big, and I should be able to do something like this now, actually. Yeah, 169 on that crit. What? Oh, how are you? You must be like a... You're a full combo. You're not. You're more than a full combo from dead. I was certain that enemy was on their way out already. I didn't think they were still going to be alive by the time they hit me. Ooh. Maybe I'm overestimating the amount of damage that I do. Roll further than you think you need, Raps. Because shorter than you think you need is the wrong side to err on. When you parry someone as well, by the way, you weaken them and make them more vulnerable to damage, but I'm pretty sure you also just crit on every attack after that point. There we go. That'll get him. Plus 3% base damage per point of perception. 20% against uninjured enemies. I mean, we have a lot of points of perception. That's a lot of extra damage on that. Look at that. Look at the damage on that weapon, actually. Torch is... my incandescent claw is currently 20. This is almost 80. Okay, okay. Still, as I said prior, no new friends is only with respect to the main hand slot. I'm going to find a good claw, and then I'm going to be like, actually, it's only with respect to the main hand slot, unless the main hand slot is also going to be replaced with a claw. I'm just going to continue removing rules. So, one of the reasons that I want a dagger here is something we actually just saw. The finisher of the dagger actually has the ability to guard break people. And because I don't have a heavy weapon and my main weapon is a claw, I really don't have the ability to guard break people otherwise. It's too late for that, I think. Another reason to want it is the fact that when it hits enemies from behind, it is guaranteed crit. So it's a guarantee that I will activate that plus 45% damage from crit. Plus damage against weakened enemies. No, I'm just going to remove the corruption on that one. I don't even think I have enough corruption to have removed there. I may have actually already had no corruption at that point. Also, given the amount of corruption that I've removed with things like that, I should probably be able to pay for another thing with my blood. Yeah, maybe I pay for a weapon upgrade with blood. No! Oh, I was trying to roll away, not towards. Wrong direction! Thank you. Just wanted that big boy down. Makes the rest of my life so much easier. There we go. Get him with the dagger. Get the... Can anyone die? I swear, I've done so much damage. Like, I know the Blood Priest is healing them the entire time, but these enemies are also really lethal, so I don't want to, like, lose my focus on them for long enough to attack the Blood Priest. I really ought to be able to outdamage them now. Get parried. Let it do the thump, and then go back in. Parry again. I can kind of see the size difference of the enemies, as well as a little bit of their glowing eyes to see that they are champion enemies, but other than that, I can't really determine the difference between the two. Definitely go level 5. Does get me corruption, but I'm okay with that. So offer that one to the gods, and then bounce on out of here. We've got to be like a room or two from the boss now. Chests have a chance to drop an additional gear item, but they trigger an attack that I'm going to have to parry. Nice. Oh, that cleanup at the start there. Plus 99. Ooh, plus 99 would be great. Plus 9 to Dex. Put that over the Chalice of Vigor and just go. Yep. If I need a bunch more healing, then I just made a bad mistake. But I don't have any ongoing healing effects. Right now, my healing effects are all, you know, recycling things. If I had something like, you know, every time you do critical, heal 10% of that damage, then I would want to keep that Chalice of Vigor a lot more. But I don't, so I won't, no shan't. Because I can't. This trap room again. Oh, that's actually like a very, very lenient version of it. I've seen that be a lot worse. Plus 1 level on your two-handed weapon. No. No single source of damage you can take can exceed 15% of your max health. Without having any vulnerability curses or anything like that, I don't think we will have anything exceed 15% of our max health, so I'm going to reroll here. Plus level 1 on two-handed weapons, 12 perception, reroll again. Poison attack and perception, no. Extra damage in darkness, so that's anti-synergistic with fire, because when you light an enemy, you turn... When you light up an enemy, you are lighting up the area as well. Different version of light in each case, but still. Each greed kill removes 1 corruption, plus 15% to fire. I've run out of rerolls, and I don't want any of those. Had to do some loop-de-loops there while I waited for my stamina to recover. There's got to be more people in this room, yeah. So instead of collecting things there, I've elected to try and find the extra enemy to try and keep my greed kill counter up. And it looks like that worked. Beautiful. Oh, sorry. When I said that the dagger has a guard break and that I didn't have one, I don't have one on my heavy weapon. I did have one via the shield charge. That would have been a guard break as well. Don't want to be giving you any misinformation here, especially in the first couple episodes. Later on, I'm going to be lying. I'm going to be lying like a log, but now I'm going to focus on not giving misinformation where possible. Oh, that sucked. I was certain I was going to kill the enemy there, so I committed to an attack that I shouldn't have. That is one big lesson I have to say about this game. If you've just picked it up, if you're trying to learn it, or if you picked it up ages ago and you're trying to get a little better and looking at this series for hints and tips. Not that I'm the best player, by the way. I do not mean to say that at all. I have, I would say, a lot more familiarity with the game than people who are currently starting. I think that's fair to say. This isn't me trying to be a braggadocious or anything. And also, it's not like I think, you know, to use a colloquial term of phrase, it's not like I think I'm hot shit at this game. We are going to have our ass handed to us as we go up into the higher levels of difficulty, and I'm extremely prepared for that. I am, however, reasonably experienced at this game with a couple hundred hours in. How many hundred? Yeah, just 119 hours in. No new friends. Plus 5% base damage per level of relics carried. Plus 30% damage against elite champions boss. It would be almost objectively correct for me to take that mace. I'm just going to tell you that before I turn it down. So that you know that I know. That you know that I know that we all know that I should have taken that mace. I interrupted myself to try and kind of like... to try and avert any comment that's like... there are better players or something. You know, I averted my own train of thought there, and I can't even remember what I was trying to say before it. Lying like a log. Misinformation. Yeah, maybe it was the addendum to something else. Mayhaps it were. To anyone who's looking at the series for tips and tricks, that was the last thing I said before I went across it. What tip and trick was I about to say? Tip and or trick, rather. It's lost. All these tips and tricks are lost in time like tears in the rain. Whoop. Hoppa. Gimme. Oh, I know what it was. And I reminded myself because of that dog attacking me. Or Jaguar, rather. We're in the Jaguar Temple. They are the Jaguars. Don't distract yourself again and forget what you were going to say again, Raps. It's one of the biggest tips that I have in this game is don't be greedy. Right? Yes, there is a greed kill timer. But if you're going to be able to still meet the greed kill timer, and you should, right? It's a huge amount of the resource gain that you're going to get over the course of the run. But if you are going to be able to meet the greed kill timer, don't overextend against an enemy on low stamina or something like that. You have time. Step back. Get a stam back. Go again. Don't be greedy, or at least don't be too greedy. All right. Final room, then champion. Well, this might just be champion. Yep, this is champion. Time to fight the dark avatar of the Jaguar. Ayo! Good to see you, bud. So this guy has real good tracking on a lot of attacks. Also, I don't think you can roll through those fireballs. But because they have really good tracking on attacks, when they finish their attack pattern, oftentimes you get to end up behind them because you've been actively rolling so much, which means my dagger that does 1 billion damage is critting every single time. Oh, no! That was more than I needed to do. I was getting greedy, you see. Okay, so attacking from the back of the enemy is actually quite lenient. Like, basically attacking from the side will still trigger it. Good to know. Yeah. They have one like Berserker Swing, the one that they just did. That is probably the one that I am the worst at dodging. You can kind of see by the way they distribute their weight. When they move, you can see by how they distribute their weight what attack they're going to use. Stop doing the slams. Can't damage you much when you slams. Yep. Putting their all into that one. And not putting their all into that one, so you knew that was going to be fine. Whoop! Out of that way. Thank you. That ground slam attack does a huge amount of damage as well. Very important we get out of the way of that. That was such a quick attack. I'd barely seen which attack was being lined up before it hit me. There we go. All right, that's resources right there. Whew. So do I get all my extra crystal skulls at the very end for having completed it? How's this going? 540 damage was dealt to us by the Jaguar. I don't know how much health I had at the end of that run. I suspect not a huge amount. 21 rooms complete, new event in 1 day. Okay, so it is a daily kind of thing. And I got 50 skulls for it. Hell yes. So you know what that means. Skillful adaptation. After defeating with your main or secondary weapon, your two-handed weapon deals 50% more damage and vice versa. So you use your main weapon or your secondary weapon, and then you use your two-handed weapon, and then you go back to main or secondary, then to two-handed, then main or secondary, then two-handed, and each of the time, every single kill, you're getting plus 50%, right? It's not stacking, it's just you're dealing 50% extra damage as long as you're swapping between those two consistently. Love that as a pickup. Love that for us. Now, I need to know... Okay. So I don't know what unique event they are now going to give us here. If it's the same event, I might start completing a couple of those off camera in my off days, like the days that I'm not recording the series, just so that I can kind of hasten the gain of all of the crystal skulls that we're going to need in order to actually get a lot of these unlocked. Because otherwise it will take like a couple hundred episodes maybe until we have everything on. A couple hundred, that's probably exaggerating. Maybe 40, 50 until we have the majority of things unlocked. And that's a while off in the future. And especially, like, I'm specifically saying only if the challenge is no new content, like it's exactly the same challenge, will I consider doing that. But for the moment, thought I was about to end the episode. Well, I am about to end the episode, but just not just yet. For the moment, I'm going to get the skillful adaptation here. Thank you. Greed kills restore 1 more stamina. And then use that to replace the healing excess. Perfect. Where are we? Did they change it? Killing a weakened enemy spreads the weakened effect to the closest enemy. That's really good in a parry build. 50% max health for defeating a non-optional champion or boss. There are optional champions or bosses? Ooh. I like that. One hell of a lot, actually. Grace of the Tempest, 1 dex each time you complete a room without taking damage. As I keep going to, non-Jaguar temples, this is going to happen less and less. Gain 2 perception anytime you make a gold offering. That's really good, too. Okay, yeah, I can't find it. There's an effect that I used to think was here related to greed kills that is no longer here. It's not the change to reptilian hunger, by the way, or anything like that. We have 20. Honestly, like, I kind of want to just unlock as many items as possible, but at the same rate, the longer I don't unlock the maces, the more I'm going to get not maces. I like that. Abnegation. Belts a Locke's blade. Finishes and charged attacks interrupt regular enemy attacks. Love that. Hold out for something else. War Machina can be good. Sacrificial Machina is a lot better. Deals critical damage when only one enemy is nearby, because almost all of the time that's available in boss fights. And especially if you target down non-elite enemies at the start of a fight, you can use that to deal damage to elite enemies as well. It's quite effective. Jaguar Hammer with fire attacks. Yeah, I'll take that as well. That stacks really well with a lot of the fire upgrades. Secondary weapon, sure. Get upgrades to the secondary weapons in those shrines. And now I can say that my name is Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Curse the Dead Gods. There's a playlist in the... a playlist? What's a playlist? There's a playlist in the description down below with all of my content of the game, past, present, and future, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.